G'day people, I'm Sharyn, welcome to my channel. Today I'm stitching out design number 033, which is a grid pattern. But you might notice that this little mat that I made a while ago looks a little bit different. The designs are actually exactly the same size as these ones. They're my 14 centimetre designs. But they've been cut out with a bit more area around them, and that means they cover a larger space more quickly and with less joins. Today I'm going to do a big plain design. It's design number 33. The fabric I'm putting on the back is a blue splatter print. So that's not mould. That's part of the splatter print, and I need to, as always, finger tighten my hoop. I don't want to cross thread the screws, so finger tightening should work well. I've got a couple of my magnets. I misplaced a few more, but I'm going to put them on here, one there and one there, just to give it a little bit more tightness or a little bit more hold. Other things I could do would be to put some rubberized matting in here, and that will hold the fabric better as well. I will babysit this. It's got one stitch stop on. I will babysit it through the first square, although this one won't stop at the end of the square. And I'll just let it go now. So what can we learn from this design, which, by the way, I've got a very lightweight cotton wadding in. I put the magnet down here, and I've got these lines actually lining up very well. They're lining up almost perfectly up here, when the original square was stitched out, obviously things didn't get pulled very much that way, but they did get pulled a bit this way. So that original square got pulled in. It did not get pulled in as much up here where I've got the magnet as it did down here without the magnet. So the magnets do help to keep your backing fabric in there better than if you don't have magnets on. When the magnets went on, they go, get this one off, they go from the inside, click over to the outside. So that's getting them off again. It would have been better to have had 4 on here. I can pop this out of the hoop now. Here we are, out of the hoop. I am going to cut this one out now with just under a 1/2 inch between the outside and where I'm cutting. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I will have a 1 inch covering over my joins. By having a 1 inch covering over my joins, this blanket, picnic blanket, is going to go together faster. So here is the square that I stitched out, and it's quite a deal larger than these ones. But I stitched it out and I cut it out with a just under 1/2 inch seam allowance around the edge of it. And that's what I did with these ones. So even though these squares are exactly the same size as these ones, 5 of these is taking up as much width as 5.5 of those ones. I'm really getting a little bit more bang for my buck because that extra little bit of fabric in there is making these join into a bigger quilt. So what are the differences when you do a square and you cut it out with just under 1/2 inch of area at the edge? Not much. You still want to butt them up together and zigzag over the join. The real difference is that now I've got just under 1 inch between the patterns. And that means that I need to put something here that is 1 inch wide. As it happens, I've got a nozzle for my tape maker and it produces tape 1 inch wide. This whole little quilt is all exactly the same design, but it's an interesting way to be able to make a scrappy looking quilt without too much effort. This one is going to end up being a picnic blanket, I think, and it should be a bit of fun. With the muslin or calico, depending where you're from, in between, gives a nice effect. And most quilt as you go only really allows you the 1/2 inch. This one gets you 1 inch. So it really does turn it into looking more like a sashing and less like something that's joining things together. When I made this one, I did a 1/2 inch extra cut around all of the squares. And that means that my binding on the side ended up at a 1/2 inch. There are times when I definitely want that binding to be the same width as this tape that's covering things. And then I need to think a little bit more about it, because to do that, I would have needed to cut these 1 inch. So the very outside pieces need to have 1 inch, the corners need to have 1 inch on 2 sides, and then you can make this bit the same width as this bit. It's all really just a way of playing with things and making quilts an easy way if you really don't like doing quilting on big quilts. See you next time.